Good evening. I want to talk to you tonight from the bottom of my heart on a subject of deep concern to every American. In recent months, members of my administration and officials of the committee of the re-election of the president, including some of my closest friends and most trusted aides, have been charged with involvement in what is now known as the Watergate affair.
The Watergate scandal began during the 1972 presidential campaign between Democratic Senator George McGovern of South Dakota and President Nixon. On June 17, 1972, about 5 months before the general election, 5 burglars broke into Democratic headquarters located in the Watergate building complex in Washington, D.C. The questions kept coming to President Nixon. Was his administration involved in the Watergate affair? Was he a crook? Was he cheating the American people? Congress demanded that the president turn over any evidence that would show that his administration was linked to the Watergate affair.
And I want to say this to the television audience. I made my mistakes. And in all of my years of public life, I never profited from public service. I've earned every cent. And in all of my years of public life, I've never obstructed justice. And I think, too, that I can say that in all of my years of public life, I welcome this kind of examination, because people have got to know whether or not their president is a crook. Well, I am not a crook. I have earned everything I've got.
Some of this evidence came in the form of tapes that contained the audio of conversations he had with certain politicians and men involved in the Watergate affair. Nixon knew that these audio tapes would convict him and his entire administration and make him go down in history as one of the most scandalous presidents ever. He refused to turn over these tapes, and eventually, the topic came to the Supreme Court, and they demanded that President Nixon hand over the audio tapes. Instead of doing as the court asked, President Nixon used his executive privilege to deny the court what they wanted. And so began the court case, United States versus Nixon.
And now we enter a commercial break.
DJ Ray in the morning, coming to you live from my studio in New York. Hey, make it shout, yo.
So that's when my life and my music career really started.
Yo, DJ Ray do interviews too. Yo, tune into DJ Ray in the morning. Only on Saturdays, only once a month, only once a year, only here in December. Yo, get it straight. Does the separation of power created by the Constitution provide the President with an absolute power to withhold information and evidence from other branches of government? Does the separation of powers allow for the dispute to be settled in the executive branch, or should it be settled by the judicial branch? The President's power to claim executive privilege is not an absolute one. The President may not use executive power to withhold evidence from the other branches. The federal courts are there to keep the other branches in line as well. President Nixon was clearly hiding something when he was not giving the evidence, and called upon any excuse he could to prevent handing it over. Clearly, President Nixon has the right to withhold evidence. He's using his executive privilege that is described in the Constitution. Now, this shouldn't even be a concern of the Supreme Court. This is an executive branch issue. It should be handled accordingly in the executive branch. I don't even know why we're wasting our time in the Supreme Court. Clearly, President Nixon was in the wrong. He does not have executive privilege which reaches out so far as to prevent showing evidence to the court, which could, in fact, convict him of major criminal activity as president, which makes him lying under oath, and could in fact give cause to impeachment. Now, this is definitely a subject to the Supreme Court, as he would not appeal to the needs of Congress. This Supreme Court unanimously decides 8-0 that President Nixon is in the wrong. His executive privilege does not allow him to withhold evidence from the Supreme Court, which is the supreme law of the land. So, he's gonna have to hand over these tapes and face whatever consequences follow.
In the discussions I've had with congressionals and other leaders, I have concluded that because of the Watergate matter, I might not have the support of Congress that I would consider necessary to back the very difficult decisions and carry out the duties of this office in a way that the interest of the nation may require. I've never been a quitter. To leave office before my term is completed is a part of every instinct in my body. But as president, I must put the interests of America first. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the bourbon, George. No problem, mi amigo. Not gonna lie, but I thought you were dead.
Yeah, and I thought the Watergate Scandal was dead, but guess that means we were both wrong.
Hey, Laura, bring us another round over here. Oh man, you're killing me like the Al-Qaeda, you know that?
Very good. Very, very good indeed.
Yeah, like that time, Laura killed someone. Yeah, ain't that right, Laura? Oh, hoo-hoo. Yeah, it's good. Ooh, yeah.
Damn.
Is that a camera?
Not again.
What? Gosh. Shut that off.